All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the term legend and the other term GOAT, in my opinion, are thrown around too much in this day and age in the realm of sports. But Rickey Henderson is classified in both of those categories. And unfortunately, the sports world lost a legend yesterday when the greatest leadoff hitter in MLB history passed away at the age of 65. And for anyone who has never had the chance to see Rickey Henderson play, you missed one of the greatest ever in action. You're talking about 1,406 career stolen bases, which is the most in MLB history. And to give you an idea as to how impressive that is, the next closest player on that list is Lou Brock with 938, and that's not taking anything away from Lou Brock, who was a phenomenal base stealer in his day. You think about it with Rickey Henderson when it comes to the stolen bases. This guy had 9 seasons, okay, where he stole at least 15 bases. So it's one of those where, pardon me, 13 rather, where he stole at least 50 bases. And let's just go down to numbers right here. 100 stolen bases in 1980, 56 more in 1981. Of course, that was a strike shortened season. 130 in 1982. And to give you an idea about that, Rickey Henderson stole 130 bases in 1982 and was caught stealing 42 times. So imagine if his caught stealing was only about 20, how we'd be talking about that phenomenal season. And there were years when Rickey Henderson by himself stole more bases than some teams around Major League Baseball. 108 more in 1983 for Oakland. Got traded to the Yankees in 85. He stole 80 for the Yankees in 1980, 87 more in 1986, and then he stole 93 with the Yankees in 1988. You just think about the phenomenal numbers that Rickey Henderson put up. 297 career home runs. He has the most leadoff home runs in MLB history. 3,055 career hits. 2,190 walks, and that gives you an idea as to how he was able to steal a lot of bases. And on top of that, he scored 2,295 career runs. So aside from his stolen bases, nobody has scored more runs in MLB history than Rickey Henderson. Nobody was caught stealing more than Rickey Henderson either. But nonetheless, when you have a guy like him with his talent and with his ability, you know what? You can deal with those caught stealings because that guy always had a green light and he had such a big time impact on the game. He was the AL MVP in 1990. He was the ALCS MVP for Oakland back in '89, and that was after the Yankees traded him back to Oakland, and he helped the A's win the World Series. And again, just his impact on the game. Greatest leadoff hitter ever. Greatest eye at the plate for a leadoff hitter as well, because you think about the walks that he drew. And Rickey Henderson was in that rare air of guys that, he could impact a game without even getting a hit. If Rickey Henderson got on base, opposing pitchers were in fear because it wasn't just a stolen base. Okay. It was how Rickey Henderson was able to get pitchers out of their realm, out of their comfort. Why? Because they always had to worry about him. And he had such great timing, okay, as far as stealing a base. And we're not just talking about a guy who would go from first to second. We're talking about a guy who would go from first to second, second to third, and then third to home. Okay, that is the type of impact that he had on the game and the stress that he put on opposing pitchers. Why? Because if they focused on him too much, then guess what? You know what? That gave the opportunity for his teammates at the plate to go out there and tee off. You think about it, there's never going to be another guy like Rickey Henderson because the game has changed so much. And I know that MLB is trying to revive the stolen base. They've made the base pass wider, the pitch clock, this, that, and third. But nonetheless, even without all of that, Rickey Henderson was dominant. The bottom line is when Rickey Henderson played, you never went to the bathroom, you never went to the fridge because you never knew what he was going to do each and every game. It was one of those things. I mean, when Ricky got those 4, maybe 5 at bats per game, it was always must see television. You're talking about a guy who played in the big leagues for 25 years with 9 different teams. But when you think about him, of course, he's always going to be remembered during his time with the Oakland Athletics. He played 14 of those years with the A's. He had 4 different stints, playing in Oakland, a guy who grew up in the East Bay. And, he was beloved there. The Oakland Coliseum, of course, unfortunately for A's fans, the A's will no longer play there. But nonetheless, the field was named after Rickey Henderson. And of course, Rickey Henderson was on hand for the Athletics' final game in Oakland this past September when I think they played the Texas Rangers that game. But nonetheless, it was one of those where, Rickey Henderson and Dave Stewart, 2 Oakland legends, 2 guys who came from Oakland, and played for the A's and had a big time impact. Both of them were there. And, who knew that several months later, Rickey Henderson would no longer be with us. But you think about it, because the number 24 is so iconic in the world of baseball because some of the greatest players in MLB history have worn that number. You think about Willie Mays, who passed away earlier this year. You think about Ken Griffey Jr. You think about Barry Bonds during his Pittsburgh years. And then, of course, Rickey Henderson. And I mean, take your pick as far as which one of these players that I just mentioned had the biggest impact on the game. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from anybody because what the say hey kid Willie Mays did in the outfield, with his glove, with his bat, phenomenal. The same thing can be said for Ken Griffey Jr. The same thing can be said for Barry Bonds, and then of course the same can be said for one Rickey Henderson. And at the end of the day, there will never be another Rickey Henderson. He was a hot dog's hot dog, but guess what? Rickey Henderson had the ability to back it up. Okay, there was swag, and there was Rickey Henderson swag, and he made it cool. He would pop that jersey. He would take his time strutting around and Cadillacing around the bases after a home run. But Rickey had style. Rickey could back it up, and like I said, he was a show in of himself when he came to the ballpark. You never knew what you were going to see. I had the pleasure to see Rickey Henderson play in person several times, during his career. And I'll tell you like this, plain and simple, one of the best to have ever done it. Tremendous bat speed from the leadoff position, a tremendous eye. And, he could damage you as a pitcher in so many different ways because a base hit, a double, a home run to lead off the game to put you right in a hole. And then, of course, if he got on base, everybody just said, oh no, here we go. That's the bottom line. But at the end of the day, there will never be another Rickey Henderson. It's unfortunate that he passed away and so close to his 66th birthday, as he was born on December 25th. But at the end of the day, Rickey Henderson was indeed truly a legend's legend, and there will never be another one like him. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.